Today we're making one of the world's great rice dishes, Cantonese Claypot Rice. The other day, Steph was chatting with you/Flying Camel, how proper Claypot rice is sort of becoming like an endangered species nowadays. See, back in the day, if you walked around the streets in Guangdong, you'd see Claypot rice after Claypot rice cooking over charcoal on the streets. So we want to do right by this dish, but neither us nor probably you own one of these special charcoal stoves. So today I think we've MacGyvered a decent solution. We're cooking over charcoal, but absolutely critical to making Claypot rice is a clay pot. You're going to want a flat, shallow clay pot like this one right here. This guy's about 8 inches wide and 3 inches deep. You should be safe with any sort of Asian clay pot. Just make sure you're not using one of those that's meant for soup. So this is jasmine rice that we've thoroughly rinsed and soaked in room temperature water for 1 hour. After soaking, just drain the rice in a setup like this for a half hour or so. Now there's a lot of choices for topping Claypot rice, and for ease of international replication, we went with chicken wing with ginger and scallion. So chop up your wings and make small cuts into the wings to allow for flavor penetration and more even cooking. Then dry those wings thoroughly. We don't want any excess moisture here, otherwise the rice could get soggy. And on that note, to marinate, we're going to be using a dry marinade. So that'll be cornstarch, salt, sugar, and oil. We're using this type of marinade because we don't want there to be any extra water released from the chicken. So mix that up and let that marinate for 20 minutes. As that's marinating, we'll chop up our aromatics. So take about 1.5 inches of ginger and finely julienne them. Then cut the white part of a few green onions into about 2-inch pieces and lightly crush them. The green part of the onion we're just going to be using for garnish, so just slice up a bit of it and set it aside. 20 minutes later, your chicken bowl should still be about as dry as before. So just add in those aromatics, a touch of soy sauce, and a little liaojiao. Give it a good mix and our topping is prepped. Now, add in that soaked and drained rice to your clay pot with 3/4 cup of hot boiled water. You should also add in some salt and oil at this point too, but we muffed up and totally forgot to film it. Moving over to the grill, just toss that on the hot side of a 2-zone heat setup. Let that sit over the high heat for 7 minutes. 7 minutes later, you should still see a little visible water like this. Toss in that topping, and if you look closely, you should be seeing a little simmering action. This is the ideal, but charcoal can be real variable, so don't panic if your rice has already absorbed away that visible water. It'll come out fine. Cover your clay pot, move it to the cool side of the grill, covering the grill and making sure to keep the top vent open. And now we play the waiting game. Don't even think about opening that pot up and peeking. I'm paranoid too, we just gotta fight the urges. 23 minutes later now. Open them up and drizzle a mix of soy sauce, sesame oil, and sugar around the edges. Now for our weird MacGyvered step. See, the best part of Claypot rice is the crispy charred bits on the bottom, and we're getting those by putting the pot directly on the coals. So arrange your charcoals into a bit of a ring and nestle the clay pot into it, trying your damnedest to get the charcoals evenly up and around the sides. After 2 minutes of cooking on the coals, take the clay pot out. We're not quite ready to eat yet though. Take some liaojiao and drip it over the lid. If you're cooking for people, it's always impressive looking to do this step at the table. Then you can make your guests wait in anticipation because this has to sit for 5 minutes. Moment of truth, the reveal. Toss in a couple blanched veg and a sprinkle of green onion for garnish. And just look at this. The chicken wings are fall off the bone tender, the rice has got this perfect texture, and, of course, those wonderful Rice Krispies on the bottom. I hope you give this one a go. It'd be a nice addition to any barbecue. For a detailed written recipe, go check out the Reddit link in the description. Subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos and leave us a comment down below with any questions or requests.